Imagine a world without language. No words to express our thoughts and feelings. No way to communicate with those around us. It's kind of hard to imagine such a reality. But the truth is, language is more than just a means of communication. It's a doorway to a whole new world of culture, traditions, and stories. Today, we embark on a journey to explore the language profiles of individuals from different corners of the community, discovering the unique ways in which they express themselves and connect with the others. From the rhythm of their speech to the words they choose, each person's language profile is like a fingerprint, entirely their own. So come with us as we delve into the fascinating world of language, uncovering the power and beauty of the words that shape our lives. This is a documentary unlike any other, a celebration of the diversity and richness of language, and a reminder of its essential place in our world. In a world that is becoming increasingly diverse, language has become a vital part of our daily lives. From the moment we wake up to the time we go to bed, language surrounds us. But how do we communicate effectively in a community where everyone speaks a different language? School. But in school, students learn to communicate in multiple languages. They learn to understand and appreciate different cultures. School is where we learn to communicate with people from different backgrounds. It's where we build bridges of understanding and where we can celebrate the richness of our diversity. State your name, age, and what you do in life.
Good day, I'm Loraine Evangelista, 18 years old, a high school student from La Consolacion University, Philippines.
Hi, I am Neljean Baldelovar, 15 years old, student.
Hi, ako gali si Ryan Alvin Vergara, nagaedad 15 anyos, kag isa ako ka estudyante sa Estancia National High School.
Ako si Nelrose, Gallego Cornel. Ako ay 14 anyos, kag ako ay isa ka estudyante.
What languages do you speak fluently? Among those languages, which one is your favorite?
The language that I speak fluently are Filipino and English, and I know a little bit of Hangul and Kapampangan. And my favorite language among those four is Kapampangan,
English and Tagalog. And my favorite one is English.
Ang akong lingwahe nga ginagamit, kag diretso ko nga ginhambal, ay Hiligaynon.
Para sa akon, ang lingwahe nga sagad ako ay Ingles.
What is your favorite word or phrase in that particular language, and what does it mean to you?
My favorite phrase in Kapampangan is Kalagayanda ka. It means I love you in English.
You can do this because that phrase really boosts my confidence and it really helped me to keep going in life.
Ang paborito kong linya sa Hiligaynon ay ang word nga palangga taka. Kay para sa akon, kung ginhambalan ako palangga, ara ang importansya, pagpalangga, kag pag-atipan nga do make care ang tao sa imo.
Ang linya o tinaga nga paborito ko sa isa ka lingwahe, kag nga importante ini sa akon ay stay positive. Stay positive ang akon napili para sa akon, para sa estudyante, kag para sa mga tawo nga sa palibot ko nga ginadaw nila ilang kaugalingon.
Do you think that speaking multiple languages has given you a unique advantage or skill set in your personal or professional life? If so, how?
Yes, it has given me an advantage since I wanted to become a flight attendant. And I heard that you have to learn more than one languages or to be a multilingual. It is very helpful to know more than one languages, especially English.
Yes, for me, it's an advantage because having a skill to speak differently really helped me to interact with others.
Para sa ako, ang paggamit sa kinalain-lain nga lingwahe, makabulig gid ini. Magamit ta ini para mag-communicate sa iban nga mga tawo, kag magamit ta ini para mag-intindihanay kita.
Sa akon, advantage gid nga makabalo sang lain-lain nga lingwahe para sa akon nga trabaho or obra in the future.
Have you ever experienced discrimination or prejudice based on your language proficiency or accent? If so, how did you respond or handle those situations?
No, I haven't experienced it yet.
Yes, because sometimes if I get wrong on saying that word, they will tease me, but I actually don't care about it. So I just ignore them.
Naka-experience man ako sa diskriminasyon nga ginatawag kung magamit ako iba nga lingwahe ilog sang Ingles. Kay miara gid kita nga mga tawo nga hindi maintindihan nga i-correct gid ang aton nga grammar kung kita magsala sang aton nga paggamit sang isa ka phrases sa English. For example, ginakorek kanila tapos ang ginaibura ko na lang gambay ko nga ginahimo ko ni nga advantage para ma-learn ang gintudlo nila o ang gincorrect nila sa akon. So, permi ko ginhambal sa ila nga I stand corrected.
Akon, wala pa man ako ka-experience sang discrimination sang akon lingwahe nga ginagamit.
Do you think that schools should require students to learn a second language? Why or why not?
Yes, I think school is already requiring us to learn a second language, which is the English. Since it is one of the official language in the Philippines, it is also the lingua franca, and I think it would be very helpful in the future.
Yes, it should be required because it can help the students to communicate with other people in the future.
Bilang isa kas estudyante, nagapasugot ako nga i-required sa eskwelahan ang paggamit sang ikaduwa nga lengguwahe o ang English. Kay makabulik ini bilang guide sa amon para mag-communicate sa iban. For example, mag-ubra kami sa iban nga lugar, makakagaya sang mga abroad, makabulik ini para ma-communicate o maka-communicate kag maka-understand ang isa kag isa sang amon nga ginahambal. Kag ang English nga language is our general language to communicate each other.
Oo. Para sa akon, need yun mabalaan sang isa ka tawo, isa ka estudyante, para kung magkanto sila sa iban nga lugar o iban nga bansa, if need nila help, hindi sila ka-communicate. Need naton sang communication sa isa ka tawo, kung ano man ang iya lingwahe, kay paano ka pangayo bulig? Paano if hindi ka nakapuli? Paano if may matabo sa imo? So, need mo gid dapat nga makatuon sang iban nga lingwahe pa or bisan English na lang.
How do you think language learning can help you in your future career?
Since it is my dream to become a flight attendant, and I heard that you need to learn more than one languages, especially English, they said that you have to be fluent in English if you really wanted to be a flight attendant.
It can help me to achieve my dream job in the future.
Igini sa aton future career ang paggamit sang kinalain-lain nga lingwahe, or should I say you develop the ability to think creatively. Kay sa pamaagi ni paggamit sang second language, makabuli gini sa aton para makapadali pangita obra sa iban nga lugar. At least balanta na naton nga kabalo ta kung paano gamiton kag mag-communicate sa iban nga lugar o sa iban nga mga lahi.
Sa akon nga maging future flight attendant, kailangan ko gid nga makabalo sang lain-lain nga lingwahe. Kay kung diin ako makakadto, need ko gid nga mabalaan ang ilang lingwahe kag para ka-intindi sila sang ginahambal ko kag ginahambal nila. Like I said, I'm future flight attendant and need ko gayon makakommunicate sa akon mga passengers.
Home. At home, families often communicate in their native language. For some, it's the only language they know. Home is where our language and culture are passed down from one generation to the next. Through the language we speak, we express our love, our hopes, and our dreams. State your name, age, and what you do in life.
Siya ni Rodora Sabino, 43 years old, may saak nga housewife.
My name is Christine Mariano, 27 years old. I'm working in a BPO industry as a supervisor.
I'm Jasmine Mariano and I'm 19 years old. I'm currently studying.
I am Nodelyn Michelle C., 20 years old and currently studying at Bulacan State University, taking Bachelor of Industrial Technology, major in Electrical.
What languages do you speak fluently? Among those languages, which one is your favorite?
Itiam mo nga sa o kat Ilocano kan Tagalog. Mas kayat ko ti Ilocano nga sa o.
I can speak in English and Tagalog. My favorite is English.
I speak Filipino and I also use English in our school. My favorite is the Tagalog language because it is my mother tongue.
Most commonly, as a Filipino citizen, I fluently speak in Tagalog and quite a bit knowledgeable in English. Among those two, I much more prefer using English language, especially in academic field.
What is your favorite word or phrase in that particular language, and what does it mean to you?
Iti sao nga Ilocano nga paborito kat nagagat. Ang ibig sabihin ng nagagat ay masipag. Dahil yun ang gusto ko sa akin.
Time is gold. We can never go back the time, and we should use it wisely so that we will not regret anything, especially in loving our family.
Thank you is my favorite word because you have to be thankful for the blessings that God gives you.
The phrase "you can be more" is my favorite line in English language. Why? Because as a second year college who is in the process of growing in adulthood, I prefer on looking at the better side of every situations in my life. If I am better now, I am sure that I can be more than what I am now. That I must step out of my comfort zone and be more, be capable for more.
Do you think that speaking multiple languages has given you a unique advantage or skill set in your personal or professional life? If so, how?
Oh, kasi pagka napunta ka sa ibang lugar, maintindihan mo yung mga salita nila.
Yes, speaking multiple languages, for example, you can speak in a native language like Tagalog and the other language is English. I can be able to work in an international company.
Yes, because you have something to use in your work that needs another language.
Yes. Speaking, able to understand, and communicate using different language is an advantage. I can say that it is very useful for me, especially in the organization that I am participating, because I am able to talk to professionals, especially when I am inviting them to be our guests during seminars that our organization is hosting.
Have you ever experienced discrimination or prejudice based on your language proficiency or accent? If so, how did you respond or handle those situations?
Oo, pagka nakapagsalita ako na mali yung pronounce ko, pinagtatawanan nila ako. Pero pinagbubuti ko na rin sa susunod para hindi nila ako pagtatawanan.
Yes, a lot, especially during work when speaking to customers. Some customers are racist, especially if they are able to detect our tone of voice. They will know that we are not a native speaker of English.
No, I didn't experience that situation.
During my high school years, where I am still trying to learn how to communicate using English language, I usually read side comments about the way I pronounce unfamiliar words. This is very common, but I use those side comments to be better. I watch more English movies that can help me learn the right and proper pronunciation and use of different English words.
What languages do your family members speak at home?
Tagalog lang.
We speak in Tagalog at all times.
The language used in our home is our mother tongue, the Filipino language.
My grandmother and I only speak Tagalog at home.
How do you and your family members maintain and practice your native languages at home?
Bata pa lang sila, tinuturuan ko na silang mag-Ilocano. Kaya nakaintindi sila.
As what I said a while ago, we always speak that language.
Through having conversation in each other.
We usually practice our native language by communicating and telling different stories about what happens during the day when we are having dinner.
How often do you use your native language? In what situation do you use it?
Pag nagbabakasyon kami sa La Union,
We use it almost all the time during conversation when we are eating together with our family, in community, also in church.
I use it in all situations unless it is the necessary to use another language.
Home, we use it all the time since we are only two. We are only speaking Tagalog during our conversation.
Neighborhood. In our neighborhood, language is not just a means of communication, but a way to connect with our neighbors and build relationships. In our neighborhood, we come together to create a place we can call home. It's where we build relationships, celebrate our differences, and find support from those around us. State your name, age, and what you do in life.
Hello, my name is Donna 22 years old. I am currently studying.
Hello, I'm John Cedric Adriano and I'm currently in the age of 15 and I am a grade 10 student from Frances National High School.
I'm Jewel Angelino, 20 years of age and a second-year college student.
Ako si Emily Hindi Guzman, 44 years old, isang businesswoman.
Marvin Sabino, 32 years old. Kasalukuyan akong tumutulong sa tatay ko sa mga gawain sa bukid, pagsasaka.
What languages do you speak fluently? Among those languages, which one is your favorite?
My target language, which is the English language, and my mother tongue, which is the Filipino language.
I grew up with my first language, the Filipino language, and I'm currently learning to be more fluent in the English language.
I'm fluent in both Filipino and English, and my favorite from that too is the English language as it has more and wider vocabulary and has deeper words than Filipino.
For me, I think it's fun to learn English because I can use that on my academic things.
Ang mga salitang kaya kong sabihin, intindihin ay salitang Ilocano, Tagalog, English, saka basic Chinese dahil ako'y 3 years din nag-abroad noon sa Hong Kong.
Kaya kong Japanese basic conversation, as in medyo level up pa. Tapos Tagalog.
What is your favorite word or phrase in that particular language, and what does it mean to you?
The phrase Hiraya Manuwari, that is a deep Filipino words, which means may your wish do come true.
I think for me it's the word grateful because God gave me more than what I prayed for.
And my favorite word in the English language is euphoria, which means a feeling of intense excitement and happiness. I have learned this word from the South Korean boy band BTS who produces a song entitled Euphoria, and it was sung by Jungkook, a member of that septet. As the music video of the song brings so much fondness in my heart, and the song and overall brings joy and comfort and so much more to me than just the feeling intense excitement and happiness.
Salita ay siyempre dun sa Ilocano, napintas, ibig sabihin nun maganda.
Japanese phrase, siguro simula nung nag-aaral ako, yung phrase na Jinsei ga Donna Delicano de atemo akaraminai de kudasai. Meaning nun, kahit ganong kahirap ang buhay, huwag kang susuko. Ibig sabihin naman sa akin, no, nag-isilbing pangaral sa akin yun kasi sa meaning pa lang niya. Kumbaga, parang gusto ko pang ibigay yung lahat. Huwag sumuko. Mapagtagumpayan ko kahit gano'ng kahirap yung buhay.
Do you think that speaking multiple languages has given you a unique advantage or skill set in your personal or professional life? If so, how?
Yes, of course. That helps us, especially in communication, and it helps us to be flexible.
Certainly, because I will be able to communicate with other people that uses any other language from different countries.
I think having to be fluent in the English language helps me a lot, considering that I am a college student taking up a major in English course. So English should be like our first language whenever we're in our classroom with our professor. So having to be fluent already in that language aids me and allows me to understand our professors easier and create writings not faster but of great quality, knowing that my vocabulary is somehow wider and yes, compared to my blockmates, if I may say. And yeah.
Kung mahalo ka dun sa ibang mga tao at natapat na may Ilocano rin or ano, nakakapag-usap kami na kami-kami lang.
Yes. Kasi ibig sabihin na halimbawa dito lang sa atin sa local, kapag hindi ka naman mag-aaral ng Japanese kung dito ka lang magtatrabaho, pwede mag-tutor ka, Japanese teacher, pero mas maganda yung magiging trabaho, mas may enhance pa yung basic conversation sa Japanese kung mag-a-abroad ka. Tapos bumalik ka dito kapag ganun ka ng kabihasa sa lingwaheng gusto mong gawing trabaho.
Have you ever experienced discrimination or prejudice based on your language proficiency or accent? If so, how did you respond or handle those situations?
In terms of discrimination, I don't think so. Or should I say not yet? I think constructive criticism.
I don't think so, but I am ready to face that kind of situation.
There was this one time when I cannot remember the Filipino term of this something, and I translated it in English. It was dahon ng saging, and I can't retrieve that Filipino term inside my brain, and I was thinking, what was that term, and I came up with the English term, and I called it banana leaf. It was so, my friends laughed at me because I couldn't remember the Tagalog term, though it's not considered as discrimination or prejudice. It's just funny because I could really speak directly, fluently in English just to say what I was trying to convey at that moment, but I was keeping myself from doing so because I don't want them to see me as someone who's all-knowing or or highly intellectual just because I'm using a different language. It's somehow hard to like allow yourself to speak in English even if you really want to use that on a daily basis. You're forbidding yourself because you don't want to be judged and yes, discriminated by your countrymen.
Discriminate ako doon sa pagsasalita ko ng Tagalog dahil nagpapagkamalan naman akong Bisaya pero hindi ko naman, baliwala lang naman sa akin yun. Yun ang pagkaintindi nila at ala lang naman sa akin yun. Yun ang alam ko at bahala sila.
Yes, may mga discrimination pero dito sa local, sa bilang Pilipino, wala naman. Pero nung nasa Japan na ako, nadidiscriminate kami halimbawa sa mga Japanese din mismo kasi lingwahe nila ginagamit namin. Although hindi pa naman kami ganun ka-fluent nung pumasok kami ng Japan, pero nung mga 2 to 3 years, kaya namin makapagsabayan sa kanila. Then, okay na. Tapos, para ma-overcome ko siya, review lang ako ng review. Lagi kong pinag-aaralan yung mga phrase kung saan ako nagkakamali.
How do you communicate with your neighbors who speak a different language?
How do I communicate? I don't think so. I don't have neighbors who communicate using different language. I think they know or they speak different languages, but they don't use that in communication.
I don't think I have any neighbors that speak any other language, but I think they will rather use Tagalog to have a conversation with me.
In our neighborhood, they all speak mainly in Filipino language because some of them are from Manila. So we communicate on a daily basis with the Filipino language. Rarely do we speak in English.
Normal lang kung paano lang makipagkwentuhan.
Parehas lang din kung Japanese po rin kinakausap sila. Kasi hindi naman nila ako maintindihan sa language na kaya kong sabihin.
Are there any unique or distinct phrases or expressions used in this neighborhood that might not be commonly known outside of this community?
Yes, like colloquial words, which slangs. Okay, children near our home uses slangs in communication.
Yes. Kids in this generation, they like coining new words to make them like cool kid.
As far as I know, there is none because as what I've said, my neighbors are from Manila and so they speak the Filipino language and the English language sometimes, so there is no provincial term circulating in this neighborhood.
Wala lang.
Sa 3 years ko sa Japan, wala naman akong encounter na ibang na ganun. Kasi unang-unang tinuro sa amin nung nag-aaral ako, maging magalang ka sa pakikipag-usap sa kanila. Kaya yung response din nila sa akin is magalang din. Wala naman ako naging problema.
Local government. At the local government, officials work to provide services to the community. They understand that language can be a barrier for some people, so they try to provide services in different languages to make sure everyone can access them. Local government is the backbone of our community. It's where we turn for support, guidance, and assistance. By providing services in different languages, they ensure that everyone can participate fully in our community. State your name, age, and what you do in life.
I am Vivar. I'm 25 years old, currently elected as SK Chairperson here in Barangay Mito, and an entrepreneur, and an online freelancer.
Mariel, the Austria, 29 years old. I'm currently working with Department of Education as an administrative officer too.
I am Liezel Torres, 34, a teacher from Department of Education, Kalumpit National High School.
Ako si Vivar, 46 years old at kasalukuyang barangay secretary.
What languages do you speak fluently? Among those languages, which one is your favorite?
English, Bisaya, Tagalog. Siyempre, sa Tagalog, favorite ko na yung Tagalog kasi majority sa atin dito, Pinoy tayo. Lahat nakakaintindi. Kahit sa ibang mga probinsya, maintindihan nila yung Tagalog.
I can speak 3 languages. The first one is English, secondly Filipino, and the third one or last one is Hangul. My favorite is, of course, Korean or Hangul.
I am speaking Filipino and English, and I am also using the dialect of Kapampangan.
Filipino at saka English. Siyempre, Filipino dahil Tagalog, Filipino tayo.
What is your favorite word or phrase in that particular language, and what does it mean to you?
Siguro Bible version sa akin yung phrase. Matthew 6:33, first seek the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Ayun, parang naging life lesson ko na sa life, inspiration pagka may mga times na syempre may mga pinagdadaanan tayo, parang yun na yung nagiging reminder ko sa akin.
I really love the word sarangheo. It means I love you. And I always choose that word to express my love to my loved ones.
Most probably my favorite phrase is thank you. For I always use thank you most of the time at home and even at work.
Ang favorite kong word, praise. Pagpuri, pagsamba, yan ang favorite kong praise. Palaging ganon. Pagdating sa paglilingkod sa Diyos, laging, mahilig akong magbasa ng Bible. Ganon. Aside from mura. Joke lang. Joke.
Do you think that speaking multiple languages has given you a unique advantage or skill set in your personal or professional life? If so, how?
Oo. Especially sa akin, since sa freelancing side, most of my clients are based in US, Europe, syempre, kailangan fluent kasi English doon. Then, it helps me a lot, it helps me and open a lot of opportunities for me.
Yes, definitely, because before I'm working as a call center agent in an international account. So, the first thing that you have skills that you have is to speak in English, and because that's the language that you're going to use to communicate to your customers, to your clients. So I think that is an edge because not all of us have a skills to have a great communication in English.
Well, as a teacher, yes, it gives you an advantage. Since we are teaching English grammar and English language, it is really an advantage that you can fluently speak in English. At the same time, you can express yourself in Filipino so that you can reach out to your students. And it really gives a huge advantage for us teachers.
Siyempre, di ba, pag marami kang alam na salita, makaka-communicate ka sa mga tao. Hindi lang sa Tagalog, hindi lang sa English, o halimbawa, dialect. Iba-ibang dialect. Mas madaling makipag-communicate sa tao.
Have you ever experienced discrimination or prejudice based on your language proficiency or accent? If so, how did you respond or handle those situations?
Yes, especially sa mga kapwa natin Pilipino. Kasi, pag nag-speaking Carabao ka kasi sa ibang bansa, parang okay lang sa kanila yun. Pero pag sa mga Pinoy kasi, perfectionist tayo pagdating sa mga language, especially sa English. Minsan, pagtatawanan ka, napabiro, pero siguro ang naging response ko lang doon is, kung ang pagsasalita ng English would help me to improve myself, then why not? Hindi naman kung hindi naman sila naapektuhan, parang baliwala para sa akin.
Yes, of course, I experienced humiliation because of my Filipino accent back then when I was a call center agent in a BPO company. I was talking to a client and she was very rude. She don't want to speak with me because of my accent. However, back then, I really love to have that client and to close that deal. And after a very long conversation, I closed the deal and she felt sorry to every Filipino in our company, in our center back then. And I handled that in a very professional way. I handled that in a having a great communication. So it went well, it goes well, so that's it.
Yes, of course. We are Bulakenyo, and a Bulakenyo in accordance with accent. According to them, we have different accents in letter B, letter R, and some other sounds. So being a Bulakenyo, when I studied in Manila, it is really a disadvantage in some cases that we have accent. But in addressing it, we need to prove that even though we have different accent, in terms of grammar and in terms of pronunciation, we can address it because we are confident on our language.
Wala pa kasi usual lang nakakausap lang natin mga Filipino din, mga Tagalog din. Kaya hindi naman napakadalang na makausap ng foreigner. Hindi.
Are there any language requirements for local government employees or officials? If so, what are they and how are they enforced?
Sa pagkakalam ko is wala. Wala naman siyang required. Pero sa akin siguro, pinaka-minimum na kailangan is, syempre, marunong ka sa English. Dahil most of the time, yung mga letters, mga documentations na required or mga lumalabas is in English. Kaya kailangan siguro or umintindi.
Okay, so actually it depends to a government employee. However, since we are serving Filipinos, of course we have to speak Filipino or the dialect inside the environment that they are going to have as their workplace. But for me, it is important to know to speak in English, to speak Tagalog, because once you are in the department, you are going to ask for a stakeholder, and not all the stakeholder is Filipino. We have stakeholders in different countries who supported the Department of Education. So I can say you must have or you must know have a multiple language that you can use or you will be useful for your future references.
Actually, there's no requirements at all. It was to happen that since we are teaching in the Department of Education in public school and I am teaching English, it is really a requirement that we are all proficient in English. Since majority of the business language is in English, we need to learn and we need to speak in English fluently. But in terms of requirement, as long as we can communicate them descriptively and prescriptively, it's okay and there's no really requirement at all.
Wala naman. Kasi sa paggawa ng mga documents, meron namang mga, usually talaga puro Tagalog lang naman yan. If ever na may mga English na documents na kailangan ipasa, nasa iyo yun eh. Choice mo yun kung anong gusto mo. Kung gusto mo magpasa ng English, halimbawa katulad ng mga resolution, pwede mong sa English, pwede rin naman sa Tagalog.
What challenges have you encountered in addressing language differences in the local government? And how have you addressed them?
Since sa atin naman is majority Tagalog naman talaga, siguro pag may mga nagpupunta lang dito ng mga mga English citizen, mga ganon, kaya naman natin makapagsabayan sa kanila, kaya naman natin i-explain sa kanila yung mga kailangan nila. So wala namang masyadong challenges between pagdating dun sa language barrier, wala naman.
As an admin officer, We have a lot of professionals inside our school, and mostly we came from different provinces, and also we are speaking different dialects. However, it's not an issue in terms of doing our job descriptions, doing our crafts inside the DepEd. We excel actually. We excel in our work. We excel as a group, and we excel also as an employee during this time.
Since I am a teacher in a public school, most probably I am addressing the problem with my students. And since they have language differences, not just a language differences, but language barrier in speaking the language, since hesitation is coming most of the time, the problem is, to tell you honestly, majority of them cannot speak the language fluently. And we need to address them by using translation and even using multilingual. Yet we all know that with the use of multilingual, maybe we are having trouble, but still, we need to cope up with the needs of the students. And that is the big challenges that we are encountering in the Department of Education right now.
Wala pa ako na-encounter na gano'n kasi nga, dito, Bulacan to, pure Tagalog ang usapan. Even sa pag umattend kami ng mga committee hearing, Tagalog din sila dun sa sangguniang bayan. Tagalog din sila. Kaya hindi ako nakaka-encounter naman ganyan mga discriminations. Hindi.
Church. In church, people of different cultures come together to worship. Though they may speak different languages, they share the same beliefs and values. Church is a place where people come together to find meaning and purpose in their lives. It's a place where we can embrace our differences and unite around our shared humanity. State your name, age, and what you do in life.
Okay, ako si Lilibet, Yangga Evangelista. I'm 46 years old. May asawa at 3 anak. Ako ay naglilingkod sa simbahan bilang isang commentator, mandarasal ng kaluluwa, kung sino man na nagpapadasal sa mga patay, ganon. Tsaka nagnonobena kami sa simbahan every Wednesday and Friday. Pag Wednesday, inanalaging saklolo, Friday, Nazareno. Tsaka pagka dumarating yung mga kapistahan ng mga santong amin din ipinagdiriwang, nagnonobena kami bago dumating yon. Kagaya ngayon, magpipista dito sa amin, Fiesta ng Banal na Cruz, kasalukuyan kami nagnonobena. Pang 9 na araw na po namin bukas.
I'm John Eric Briñas, 25 years old, and I'm a CBF private school teacher.
I'm Erica May Briñas, 19 years old, and I currently working because I stopped studying for some reason.
Ako si Mariel Armarce, 21 years old, third year college ng BS Criminology. Isa akong puwer sa aming simbahan.
What languages do you speak fluently? Among those languages, which one is your favorite?
Siyempre, ang number 1 nating na talagang fluent tayo ay sa Tagalog. Pero nakakaintindi rin ako ng Kapampangan and English.
Well, I do speak English and Filipino as well. Well, I like English.
I speak English and Filipino. My favorite between the two is Filipino.
Ang mga salitang kaya kong sabihin ay English, Tagalog, at Panggalatok.
What is your favorite word or phrase in that particular language, and what does it mean to you?
Ang aking favorite na sabagay, lagi ko expression, manyaman! Ang ibig sabihin na masarap kasi mahilig akong kumain.
Well, my favorite phrase in English is that failure is that event, not a person. Well, for me, it's okay to fail because we're not perfect and we have flaws. It doesn't mean that you once failed and then your life is a whole failure. Okay, it's just an event and not you. And always remember that, failure is part of success. So it's okay to fail sometimes.
Pagmamahal. It keeps you doing amazing and unexpected things like taking this and giving another chance.
Sa Panggalatok, ang word na favorite ko na sabihin ay mangganang BA sa Tagalog ay magandang babae.
Do you think that speaking multiple languages has given you a unique advantage or skill set in your personal or professional life? If so, how?
Oh, yes, malaki talagang advantage ng naiintindihan natin o alam natin yung isang wika para kung nakikipagsalamuha tayo sa ibang tao na iba ang ginagamit na wika, hindi tayo mahirapang makipag-communicate. Naintindihan natin sila kahit na magkaiba tayo ng wika. Kung naintindihan mo wika nila, mas maganda.
Well, yes, I can say that it's an advantage for me learning English language, okay? Because in my profession, actually I am teaching multiple subjects, but my major is MAPE. So we know that MAPE is written in English. So if I know how to understand English language, and if I know how to speak that language, and then I can teach it well to my students, no? They're going to grasp what I'm saying because I know how to explain using that specific language. So it's a yes for me.
Yes, it is a unique advantage. Speaking multiple language helps you communicate with others more effectively.
Yes, kasi pag napunta ka sa ibang lugar, maintindihan mo sila ng maayos at hindi ka magiging mangmang sa mga sinasabi nila.
Have you ever experienced discrimination or prejudice based on your language proficiency or accent? If so, how did you respond or handle those situations?
Hindi pa naman. Sana wag namang mangyayari. Wala pa namang nangyaring ganun.
Well, as I remember, I don't experience any discrimination using the accent that I want or by using English language.
No, I never been experienced any discrimination or prejudice.
Pag mali yung accent ng pagsasalita ko, ginagawa ko ay wala lang, baliwala lang sa akin.
What is the primary language used in your church services?
Tagalog. Lagi naman Tagalog.
The language used in our church service is Filipino.
Filipino is our primary language while the second one is English.
Tagalog.
Do you think language plays a role in shaping religious beliefs and practices?
Oo naman, malaki ang naitutulong ng language sa paghubog ng relihiyon para may naintindihan natin ng mga paniniwala o mga spiritual beliefs ng mga bawat mananampalataya.
Of course, because as we know, the number one medium for communication is language, whether non-verbal or verbal. So, yes, it's yes for me because if we use specific language and the one who discusses and the one who listens understand it well, then we can communicate well, okay? So whatever we say using that language, they will understand, okay? So yeah.
Yes, it plays a role in shaping religious beliefs and practices because it should be understandable for the both teachers of the church and me as a listener so that I can listen and help me in shaping my religious beliefs and practices.
Yes po.
In what ways do you adapt or make adjustments to accommodate visitors who come to your church?
Kung may dumating man kaming bisita, syempre, tatanggapin mo, asikasuhin mo. At kung ibang lahi man yun o ibang language ang gamit nila, syempre, ako'y Tagalog lang. At Kapampangan lang alam ko rin sabihin, ang salitain. Kung ibang lahi man siya, panigurado may kasama namang interpreter or translator para magkaintindihan tungo sa magandang komunikasyon.
Well, as part of our culture, we welcome visitors very well, right? And we treat them good. So one of the adjustments is that, of course, we have to clean the place or the church, and we have to treat them very well, like VIPs. So those are some adjustments you have to prepare because they are visitors.
I greet them politely and smile to them, ask them how they are, and try making friends with them.
Since Tagalog naman yung salita, wala wala namang pong nangyaring adjustment.
Media. In the media, stories about language and culture are told. By sharing these stories, we can bridge the gap between cultures and promote understanding. Media has the power to shape our perceptions of the world. By telling stories about language and culture, they can help us see the beauty in our differences and the similarities that unite us all. State your name, age, and what you do in life.
I am Erica May Baldelovar, 16 years old, and I am a TikTok influencer.
What languages do you speak fluently? Among those languages, which one is your favorite?
I speak Hiligaynon, Tagalog, and English.
What is your favorite word or phrase in that particular language, and what does it mean to you?
My favorite word in Hiligaynon is padayon. Kay isa lang ini katinaga pero makabulig ini sa imo para makapabakod sang imo kaugalingon, huna-huna kag imo nga buot.
Do you think that speaking multiple languages has given you a unique advantage or skill set in your personal or professional life? If so, how?
Oo, para sa akon, dako ining advantage tungod paagis ni mas makaistorya ako sa mga tawo. Or let's say na mas maka-interact ako sa ila sa maayo, depende sa lingwahe nila nga ginagamit.
Have you ever experienced discrimination or prejudice based on your language proficiency or accent? If so, how did you respond or handle those situations?
No, not yet.
Do you think the media should play a role in promoting the use and preservation of regional languages? If so, how?
Yes. Kay sa subong nga panahon, damo na may gigamit sa social media, and ang influence ni is sa ibang katawo is very impactful. So I think by using it, we can still preserve and promote our regional languages.
How do you think social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram have affected the way we use language and communicate with each other?
Para sa akon, siguro wala man gaka-apektuhan sa social media ang amon nga lingwahe.
Would you be open to working together with people who speak different languages and finding ways to communicate effectively with them?
Yes. Willing gid ko magbulig sa mga tawo nga ini.
As we come to the end of our journey, we hope you've enjoyed learning about the diversity of language and how it shapes our lives in ways we never even realized. We hope this documentary has inspired you to appreciate the linguistic diversity around you and to embrace the power of language to connect with others. Remember, language is more than just a means of communication. It's a gateway to understanding different cultures and perspectives. And finally, we want to thank all the wonderful people who have shared their stories and insights with us on this journey. Your passion, wisdom, and unique perspectives have truly inspired us and made this documentary possible. Thank you for joining us on this adventure into the world of language. May you continue to speak, learn, and grow in all the languages of the world. We are the Group 3, and goodbye for now.